Welcome back to the next LUX Onshape video tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to look at adding a little bit more detail to the left hand that we drew in the previous tutorial. So you'll need to load that up, and I'm just going to spin it around holding down the right mouse button so that I am looking on effectively what is the index finger. So I'm going to click on the index finger with the right mouse button on that side of it and click New Sketch, and then right click and click View Normal to Sketch Plane, and then I'm just going to zoom in. So I'm going to try and give the fingers a little bit more shape to start with. So I'm going to use the line tool, and lining up with the middle finger, so not this one but the middle finger, so I might need to play around. It won't matter if it's not perfect, but try and line it up as best as you can. It looks like it's snapped onto it. I'm going to draw a horizontal line, and following on from that I'm going to draw 3 diagonal lines coming away. So I'm going to snap to there, I'm going to come down a little bit, I'm going to come across a little bit, and then I'm going to go up to the end of the line. Okay, so long as I've got that basic shape, that's fine, because I'm now going to dimension that. So use the dimension tool. This top line wants to be 28 millimeters, and as you can see it's come off the end, but we can sort that in a moment. I want to dimension the height from this point to this point. Okay, so if I come down under the line, I can make it the length of the line. If I pull it round, I can make it the horizontal length of the line, and if I come over to the left, I can make it the vertical length of the line, or the height of the line, if you like. The height of that one I want to be 2. I'm going to do the same to the bottom point there and come over and make that 4. And then the horizontal length of that line I want to be 6, and the horizontal length of that line I want to be 10. So I've got the shape I want, but I need to make sure that this is lined up at the end, so I can add a coincidence point. So if I go coincident, if I select that edge and I select that point, that moves the whole sketch over and the 2 line up. Okay. If I go zoom to fit, we've got the whole shape in there. So now I'm going to cut that through. If I just spin that round, I want to go away from me, so I'm going through the hand. I don't want to be cutting through the thumb at all. So go to our features. I want to remove material. I want to go through all, because that saves me having to remember the distance. And you can see that because I started cutting it, decided to send it that way, and that's correct. So click the tick, and we've got a little bit of shape now to that hand. We've started to get a bit of shape to the fingers. Let's do the same again on the bottom of the fingers. So again, I'm going to right click on the face of the index finger and select New Sketch. Right click, View Normal to the Sketch Plane. And I'm going to do pretty much the same thing but in reverse. I'm going to use the line tool. I'm going to try and line up here. Actually, it makes a little bit of sense to come too far over. Okay, so I'm going to use the dotted line to show me that I'm lining up with that bottom face, having selected it. I'm just going to draw a line. I'm going to draw a vertical line, and this time I'm just going to draw 2 shapes. So that's the sketch, and I'll line the sketch up afterwards. So I want the dimension tool next. I want the overall length to be 19.5 millimeters. I want the horizontal distance of this first line, so remember I can click on there and click on there and go upwards. I want that to be 6.5 millimeters, and then I don't need to dimension the next one because it will be tied in with that bottom line. I want the height at this end to be 6.5, and from the bottom to this point I want to be 3.5 in the vertical. So there's our shape. Let's align that. So let's use our coincidence. So let's pick that end line and that point, and it's pulled it over to the right place. And again, hold the right mouse button down just to spin it around, and then go over to the features, and I want to remove material. It sent it in the right direction. 25mm is enough, but let's just go through all, and then that's given us the shape of our fingers. So the next thing is to do the same with the thumb. Let's try and give the thumb a little bit of definition. So I'm going to select this outer face of the thumb, right click, New Sketch, right click, View Normal to Sketch Plane, and I can just zoom in a little bit. So we're going to do two sketches in one go on this one. So I'm going to use the line tool, and from the corner I'm going to go up, and from the corner I'm going to go along, and then I'm just going to join that up to make a triangle. Now because we're directly on this plane, we'll work on this plane, it will snap to the corners, so I don't need to do any alignment on here. Dimension tool, I want the height to be 3.5, and I want the length to be 10. So that's one part I'm going to cut through. I'm now going to cut a shape in the top. So again, go back to the line tool, starting in the corner, I'm going to draw a line that's not the whole length of the thumb. I'm going to come down, come across, so line up with the end line and have a bit of a vertical line as well. And now I can dimension that. So the overall length at the top is 16. This point here in the vertical is going to be 5. This line at this end is going to be 2.5. And then the horizontal distance from that point to that point is going to be 7. So there's the shape that we're going to cut out for the thumb. Now, on here, I'm going to use the remove tool, but this time our condition is going to be up to a face, and we're going to pick this face here. Click, tick, and you can see that it's cut material only up to that face. Now we've got a bit of a step here, so the next step is just to try and make that look slightly better. So we're going to add a little fillet in there and change that to 2mm, and hopefully that will blend in. And then we have a much better hand shape. Then just to finish things off, we'll put a 2mm fillet on these corners at this end as well. So change it back to 2. Click on that corner, that corner, that corner, and that corner. And we have a completed